So I do this quite a lot. I create backgrounds, I cut them up, and then I have small pieces that I maybe bring with me, or I tape them up on a board so that I have several ones at the same time, and then working on them in a really free and relaxed way. I want to talk a little bit about this with having something that you can pull out and create just a very short time. It is a brilliant little tool. So during Christmas and New Year, if you're really busy, a lot of family, maybe you can have something that you pull out and just sit down and breathe and relax. It's a similar thing as just going for a walk, or sitting down and breathing actually. But if you want something else than just go for a walk or breathing, this is another way of doing exactly the same. Just kind of relax, do something we like for a very short time, and it kind of boosts us or resets us or recharge a bit. And I'm talking a lot about this in Cafe Flow and in all the projects, because I think that's the kind of the essence of what I'm doing. I creating art that I sell, and I do all these classes, but the way that I approach my art and the way that I recharge is all about these small kind of sessions, or just to create on a regular basis, just a little bit, just to boost ourselves. So yeah, that's the essence of it all. So I will do that today. Cool. So if you have been doing art for many years, and maybe in different materials, and been doing creative stuff, I guess you are like me, having a lot of stuff lying around. So you know, you have scrap things. Maybe you are good at throwing stuff away, but I have a lot of things that I've been creating and lying around. So all these kind of old things that I have lying around, I cut up and I create and use them as therapy almost. And now this Christmas, I really suggest that you try something like this, either card or an art journal. Have it somewhere. Maybe it is in your bag, maybe it is at a table or in a little box somewhere. And then when you get a little time for yourself, pull them out and just create something. Because also what happens when we create really short kind of sessions, we come back with fresh eyes, and it's actually quite interesting what happens and what unfolds on the pieces while we are doing it in these, and we have other things around us, so we don't really think about it. We just go in and we just do something, and then we leave it, and then we come back fresh eyes. I just have 5 minutes, I do something, and then I leave it. It's interesting what builds up and what's created on the cards, and then you can go back and actually look at them and see if there are parts that you really like on them, and kind of work on that when you have longer sessions later on. So I will just with a couple of different art supplies work on these cards as I would do in these really short kind of sessions. I have some different art supplies. I have some Posca pens. I have some stencils, both one that I've done myself, simple one. This is really sturdy now because I've used it quite a lot. And a bought one. I have a makeup sponge. I have collage papers. I might put a little bit of collage paper on something. I have, what else do I have here? I have some oil crayons. I might do a bit of resist, so I'll show you all about that, which is really fun. It's really quick, something that I just put down and then it has to dry. I have some acrylic paint, of course. I have my my masking tape that I thought I would use. Yeah, I'll just start, and as always when I kind of start, I just flick through my cards and I just pick one that I feel like doing something with at the time, and it doesn't have to become anything. So I'll start with this one. This has just a lot of different marks. It's almost the same everywhere. So this one is a fun one, and I will actually start with doing a bit of resist, because that takes some time for it to dry. I hope it will be able to dry before I finish this session, so that's why I start with this one. So what I will do, I will actually use oil crayons. This is a Sennelier, but you can use a really cheap, here is a cheaper one, I think. This one is really cheap. So you can use a cheap oil crayon as well. And you can use any oil crayon, any color. I will actually today here use something a bit different. I love them. It's actually a transparent oil crayon. So this one is transparent, so you will see the background through it. And I will just draw something on here with my oil crayon, and I won't really see it that much actually. So I will just, and you will definitely not see what I'm doing here, but I will just do a little bit like this. And what I will do, I will use some acrylic ink on top of this. Let's see, what color should I use? Let's use a magenta color. I have some magenta on here already. Now there will be stuff everywhere. And I'll put it on and we'll see if this works. You never know. So what I'm trying to do is some kind of resist from the, let's grab the dark one down here. Okay, let's see what happens. So my hope is that there will be some resist from my drawing that will come through. And let's see, you can see how you can see some of it through here, and it's just a very quick. I mean, how long did this take? I drew something and then I just put the acrylic ink on, and now it's actually time for it to dry. I can take away a little bit. Became a bit much here. Cool. So you can see how the acrylic ink is not sticking in some of the parts of the background. It became really cool actually. Gosh. Now the white marks underneath shows through, so it's maybe a little bit hard to see the marks, but I don't know if you can see where the wet is and where there is no wet, and that pattern is where the resist is happening. I'll let this dry and we'll see what happens with this one. I need to put it flat, otherwise all the ink will kind of run off. So this took, what, 5 minutes? It's just a kind of super quick, little creative thing. I love to work with the ink, and something has happened on that piece. And when I come back, something will be there and I can work from that. Okay, take another one and we'll do something else. Okay, I will actually grab this one. This has this really big mark on it, which is cool. But I'm thinking I want to do some other marks on this to break that up. Doesn't have to be anything special. I will just take a white paint actually and do some marks on top of this. This is also will be super quick. Maybe paint to bring out a palette is not something you can do when you have a really short time. Maybe you don't have any space to kind of let the water sit and so on. So maybe this is not something if you don't really have an art space somewhere. But I'll just show you with a little bit of white paint and any stencil, you can just make a huge difference to a piece with just, let's take another stencil as well. Get that dark away. Okay, I've done something to this one and I will leave it. I will just jump in, do something small. Now the problem is if this is what you're doing, that you have a something to clean. What I quite often do when I do really short, quick things, and I know I will come back in a day, I'll just put my little makeup sponge in some water like this, and it will sit there. So I don't have to clean it up. What I do with my palette, if I'm just in quick doing something small, I just spray some water on it and I put the same kind of lid on top, and this will actually be fine until tomorrow as well. I'll just put something on top of it. So you don't have to, if you have a little space or a table, or maybe even a box, you could have a box with your water in and put this into the box and put it away. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be that you pull everything out, you have to wash it up. You can pull some paint out, put it into some water, and you've done something. It's not much, but it's something. And these small something is, I think, very, very both inspiration for future. You just popped in, did something that kind of just came to your mind, no thinking of what it's going to become, and then you just leave it. And if it worked, it's really cool. If it didn't work, doesn't matter. Okay, take another card here. Let's do this one. And I will go back to all of them and kind of continue as well. So what should I do on this one? Let's do some marks with a Posca pen. And this is something you have seen me done several times, I'm sure. Maybe I should put on some. And just play with the marks that are on here. Here I have some circular marks. I'm just kind of playing around with those. maybe I'll... And it doesn't have to become anything. It doesn't have to become good. It's not something that you have to do something with later on. You don't have to think. You sit down, you have 5 minutes, you play around with some marks. And as you know, and you have seen before, I can sit and doodle like this for a very long time. So here I'm just playing with the marks that are already on there. Maybe something I like that I later on will work more with or not. Doesn't matter. I'm just following the paint marks here. Maybe I should take another pen or another. Maybe I'll take this one. This is also a Posca pen. It's a copper kind of color. What is it called? Gold, maybe. It's more bronze. Let's use this one to you see this? It's maybe hard to see. You can see it a little bit when I take it out. The important part is actually not what I'm doing or what it becomes. It's the process of sitting down, doing something for a little while as a way to relax. And it became really cool. I'll put another one here. I like this random kind of okay, that's that. That's one little session, just 2 Posca pens. Doesn't have to be longer. It doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be evaluated. It doesn't have to be good. It's just a little bit on some marks. Cool. I have one card left here now. I don't have to work on exactly that, but I will actually just do some collage. As you know, that's one of my favorite things. So I will just put a couple of collage pieces in here with my acrylic ink, with my palette knife. This takes no time. It does take time. I shouldn't say no time, but it's not much. It's just relaxing, and I'm gonna put a couple of dark pieces in here as well. Where should I have this? I get relaxed just by doing it now. I'm just... It's... with not having to create something. You... or I should say, not everyone, of course, but I get into a really relaxed state of creating. It's real flow or real intuition, or... And I think when we do this, when we do create after not using our brain, we relax, we recharge, we get into our own kind of voice, because we're not trying something that we have seen or learned, or we just do. And collage for me is that amazing way of just letting go and relax. And I think that's another thing with this, with doing work that recharge you, and it's not important, but if you do follow what you enjoy doing, that will be so much more productive, or yeah, much more working the way that I'm trying to show you. So really do what you like. If you don't like collage, don't do collage. If you don't like ink, because it's just you can't control it at all, don't do ink. Do things that you do enjoy. This thing with trying new things and being outside your comfort zone, that has its space, but maybe that's not what you're doing here. If you want to relax, you want to be enjoying what you're doing, just do exactly what you love doing. And as you can see, this is one of my things because I won't even stop. I'm just continuing. Oh, I love that. Cool. Okay, I'll leave this and I'll go over it again. Let's see what we have created. Now we can see much more how the resist has worked with my kind of flowery pieces. Love the colors. Love the grungy colors down here. Okay, and then we have this one. It would be cool to have a picture and see what they look like before we started. Good. So let's go over and do one more very quick kind of session on each of them. So one more round. I will wait with this one because it's not totally dry. And this one is not dry, so I'll do one of these two.